Well, today kicks off the 46th anniversary of Muscular Dystrophy Telethon to raise funds for a cure. So coming up next, I talk with MD, survivor, and CBS 12 editor Mike Caruso. And he functions with a lifestyle while living with MD. And in an interview taped earlier, I asked Mike, how long has he had MD?
I was born with it. I was diagnosed with it when I was 6 months old.
I got you. And how old are you now?
I'm 47. I just turned 47 August 24th. So.
Well, a week ago Wednesday.
Yeah.
We had a big birthday thing.
I did, but I got to stop having them because I keep getting older every year.
Well, you know, born with it and growing up with it, how were you treated when you were in lower grades of school, elementary school? How did your fellow students treat you?
They accepted me. I mean, of course, a guy in a wheelchair at first is something, you know, they had to get used to. But once they saw I was like anybody else, it was fine. In second grade, I was in a wheelchair. I had skipped the first grade. I always joke around and say, you know, what was I doing in kindergarten? That was so great. I got to skip the first grade. So I skipped the first, was in a wheelchair for second grade. In the third grade, for 2 class periods, I would be in what's called a standing table.
Were you in the wheelchair there?
I was in a wheelchair, yes, in the third grade. But I had a standing table for 2 class periods. Because I had braces, so they would, you know, my legs could straighten. And I would, you know, do my classwork standing up. But there was a table all around me up high enough so I could do all the work.
Okay, well, so you got through school, but then you went into college. Now that's something else. How were you treated there?
Again, normally. I mean, you know, I went to Brevard Community College up in Rockledge, and then went to the University of Florida after I got my AA. And University of Florida was great for disabled persons like myself. Like, if I had a class schedule in a building that I couldn't get to, and there were some old
Were
buildings.
You in a wheelchair then?
Yes, I was. And there were old buildings that had stairs going in and stairs going up and down inside.
Yeah.
All I'd do was go to disabled services, and they would move the entire class for me to a building that was accessible.
Well, that's terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Moving the entire class for you.
Yeah. I felt honored. I felt like I was Donald Trump or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, then, you know, you're going to the University of Florida. You got out. Then what did you get? How'd you get involved in the broadcasting business?
Well, that's why I graduated with a telecommunications degree, a bachelor's in telecommunications, in December of 1986, and then was hired here at CBS 12, April of 1987. So,
wow.
Been here almost. It'll be 25 years next April.
Wow, that's terrific. My show's been my show started just here 25 years ago, just before you started.
Right, I know. We're both getting old.
Yeah, it is, and that's the truth.
I know.
Hey, well, listen, you know, what did you do in the beginning when you in your television career?
I started here just as a news editor, and then I went to sports for 12 years. I was a sports reporter. I did Athlete of the Week. I was a producer.
Well, when you being a sports reporter, did you go down to Miami and cover the games?
Yeah, covered the games, covered the Dolphin games. I went to, I did, you know, the Marlins. I did, you know, the Heat. But I was always enjoying more the high school kids. I was always liking the local kids, watching them. You know, when you see them nowadays, like an Anquan Bolden, I interviewed him when he was in high school, and now you look at him and you're like, you're impressed on how great the kid is.
Well, when you're covering the games and covering the sports, were you okay getting around in your chair?
Yeah, I mean, you know, there were some certain issues. Like I was on the sidelines for a Dolphin game, and this is a true story. They had to come down and get me because Don Shula was worried for his players. He wasn't worried for me, he was worried for his players, that they might get hurt running into me. So they had to put me upstairs in the press box, which was fine. I have no problem.
Right.
I understand that. It doesn't bother me. But, yeah, I always get a kick out of telling people, Don Shula wasn't worried about me, he was worried about his players. Yeah,
have Larry Zonka run at you. He runs into 300-pound linebackers, and they were worried about him running into you, right?
Exactly.
Hey, well, listen, doing all this as a handicapped person, what do you advise other handicapped people that might be watching this show?
I always tell people, look, don't ever say the word can't, don't ever say the word won't, because you can do anything you want to if you put your mind to it. I mean, there are people that can help you. There are people that want to help you. Don't just because you're in a wheelchair think your life is over. Your life isn't over. You can do whatever you want to do. I mean, I always say, look at me. I mean, I'm doing what I love doing. I have to. I've been here 25 years.
Yeah, and you do it very well. I'll have to say that.
Thank you. And it's you just don't let the wheelchair get you down. Excuse me. Don't be so depressed. Always have a good outlook, and things will go your way.
All right, Mike Caruso, you're a tribute to the human race, young man. I've watched you for 25 years, and God bless you. You've just done a fantastic job under very unreal circumstances. You're doing great.
Right back at you, Dave.
All righty, thanks a lot, Mike, for being here. And we'll return right after these words.